are you?
I'm here at the room. Bro, I can't take this anymore. I think I'm going to die.
Hold on. I will send you the link that can help you in your basical. Don't worry.
Sorry, bro.
Don't give up, guys. Just wait from the link. No, just give up already. You're going to fail anyways, so why not die? Don't give up. Just give up. Give up.
I want to die.
Just stop! Never do not just send the link for your problem.
I can't take this anymore, Car. Sorry.
Don't give up. Don't give up. Come with me.
Good day, everyone. Our topic for today is about derivatives. So, in derivatives, there are different rules of differentiation. Under these rules are as follows: constant function rule, power rule, constant multiple rule, summary difference rule, product rule, quotient rule, and lastly, we're going to talk about the chain rule. So, first off, let us talk about how to apply the rules of the constant function rule. Now, I am going to explain to you in how we can apply the first rule of the rules of differentiation, which is the constant function rule. For example, we are given this kind of function. F of x is equals to k. K is our constant. And according to the constant function rule, any constant number will always be equal to 0. Let's take this example. We are given this function, f of x equals to 5. In finding the derivative of this certain equation, we must apply the constant function rule because we are given a certain constant. So, in finding the derivative of this constant, 5 will always be equal to 0. Therefore, the derivative of this equation is f prime of x equals to 0. Now, I am going to explain on how we can apply the power rule in finding the derivative of a certain function. But first, let us observe this equation. We can find the derivative of a certain function using the power rule by using also this equation, wherein f prime of x is equals to n x raised to the power of n minus 1. Let's take this example. F of x is equals to 3x squared. In finding the derivative of this certain function, we must need to identify first our n. Our value of n will always be our exponent. N equals to 2. Now we can apply this formula in finding the derivative of this certain equation. Whereas 3 times 2, which is our exponent, x raised to the power of 2 minus 1. There, 3 times 2 is 6, copy x. 2 minus 1 will always be 1. Therefore, f of x is equal, the derivative of f of x will always be 6x. Now, let's talk about and how we could apply the sum and difference rule in finding the derivative of a certain equation. We can find the derivative of a certain equation using this rule, but also following this formula, wherein f of x is equal to g of x plus p of x. Now, for example, we are given this function. F of x is equals to 3x squared plus a constant of 5. Our g of x is 3x squared and our p of x is a constant 5. So, in applying of the sum and difference rule, We can also use the power rule and as well as the constant function rule. In solving for g of x, we will going to use the power rule, whereas 3 times 2 x raised to the power of 2 minus 1 plus, in finding the derivative of our p of x, we will going to use the constant function rule. And remember, any constant is equals to 0. Therefore, the derivative of 5 is 0. Now, let's observe this equation. 3 times 2 is 6. Copy x. 2 minus 1 is 1. We should no longer put a 1 as an exponent. Plus 0. Therefore, the derivative of f of x is 6x. Now, for applying the difference rule in solving for the derivative of a certain function, it is also the same with using the sum rule. The only difference is the operation that we are going to use. For sum rule, we are using addition, and for the difference rule, we are using subtraction. Now, let us proceed on explaining how we could apply the product rule. In solving for the derivative of a certain function, applying the quotient rule, it is also the same as applying the product rule. However, the only difference is the operation you're going to use. Instead of addition, we're going to use subtraction, and we are going to divide this function by our g of x squared. Now let us observe this rule by this example. We have f of x is equals to x cubed plus 4x raised to 5. So as you can see, our inner function is x cubed plus 4x. Now let us apply the chain rule. First, we are going to find the derivative of our function, which is 5 multiplied to x cubed plus 4x raised to 4. Then we are going to multiply it to our inner function, the derivative of our inner function, which is x cubed plus 4x. So the derivative of this inner function is 3x squared plus 4. Now, this is the derivative of our function f of x. As you can see, guys, applying the rules of differentiation and finding the derivative of a certain function is very easy. We must put in mind that learning basic calculus is very easy if you put it by heart. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching and God bless.
Yes, God. Basic, God. It's so basic. If we love it, with my heart.
Right, we'll do it.
Yes. Basic, God.